Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in. And I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I'm excited to talk about the markets this morning and essentially what has happened. So I hope you have all had an amazing weekend. Today we're going to be talking about rollover, why we switched over into the March contract. We're going to be talking about the weekly chart, the daily chart, the 1 hour, 15-minute chart, and we're even going to be talking about the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart as well. What I was looking at, what I wanted to see price action do, what levels we're paying attention to, essentially what we're looking for going into this new week. So, thank you for being here. I hope you learned something from this video and I'm excited to share my thoughts. So, let's just jump right into the markets and we're gonna start on that weekly time frame as we always do every single Monday. So let's get into it. All right, 1 week, shall we? Perfect. So I'm sure you've noticed we've switched over into the March 2024 contract. Let's talk a little bit about that first, shall we? Perfect. So we're on barchart.com. You can find this pretty easily looking at the indice market right here. Now we're looking at comparing these two symbols right here, the E-mini S&P and the March contract and the December contract. What I'm looking for is this right here. You see this volume right here? Essentially now the March contract is higher in volume compared to the December contract. You see that right here? So because of that, we've switched over, we've rolled over, that's what it means, switching over into this March contract 2024. So the volume is higher. Essentially what that means is more people are trading on the new contract, and because of this, we're rolling over. We were expecting to roll over this week sometime, so I just wanted to double check, and this morning I noticed the volume was higher, so we switched over. Boom. There we go. Now let's jump back onto the charts, shall we? Perfect. So we're back on the weekly chart here. We're on the March 2024 contract, and let's get to work. So again, we have this weekly fair value gap that we were watching, wanting to see what would happen. If we were going to continue to trade inside of it or break out. If we do go higher, we have a daily volume imbalance up here, and then of course this weekly high. I want to see these relative equal lows traded to at some point, maybe this week, next week, something like that. But first I want to see what we're doing. Are we going to continue higher? Are we going to move lower? I kind of am just waiting to see what's going to happen in the markets. So we have these weekly relative equal lows marked out, and we have this weekly fair value gap marked out on the weekly chart. Now let's drop down to the daily. Perfect. So the daily chart, I scrolled back. We have this daily volume imbalance here, so I marked that out, and we could potentially see the market trade into this daily volume imbalance. We could even see the markets go higher, trading above this weekly high in even this weekly high. And if that is the case, we will have made new highs for the year. And since it is December and we're already pretty close, I mean, we could see the market just continue to move higher. We already see we have this nice run higher, but we've had some sort of consolidation last week and into this week. So we'll see if we are going to continue to push higher or if we're going to go for these weekly relative equal lows. So this morning I was kind of just going in with the mindset of, hey, I'm neutral in the markets. I kind of just want to see how we play out. I'm not taking a trade this Monday just because we don't usually take trades on Monday unless it's NFP week. Plus I was expecting slower price movement, and with all of this we haven't really seen much movement. So let's jump down to the 1 hour time frame. Perfect. This morning we actually did trade off of the consequent encroachment of that weekly fair value gap and moved higher, taking out last week's high, which was good to see. We traded higher, taking out that high, and now we traded lower. So again, we've had this small kind of push higher this morning to move lower. Again, I don't really want to be trading in this price run. You know, I don't want to be trading in too much of those smaller price runs. So for me, I'm just looking for more information. I am figuring out if we are going to move higher this week, if we are going to move lower this week. I kind of just want to see how the market is moving, how the market is responding to certain PD arrays, and essentially kind of just go from there. So again, we did take out that weekly high, but then we moved lower. Again, we have this new week opening gap here. So we can see we might potentially trade off of this to go higher, or if we break through and continue lower, taking out the sell side liquidity and eventually these weekly relative equal lows. But right now we're just watching the markets. We're just seeing if there's information. We're just kind of gathering information. We want to see what is going to happen this week. And today for me, it was just more about getting information for the week coming. So let's drop down to the 15-minute time frame. Again, we can see we had some sort of consolidation this morning. We traded lower, filling in this opening range gap right away. We traded into these 5-minute volume imbalance, which I'll share on the 5-minute chart. And then we did eventually move higher, breaking out of that new week opening gap, coming back down, had some consolidation at the high of that weekly fair value gap before breaking higher, taking out those weekly highs, and now again we're just back into this kind of consolidation. So for me, like, this is just not something I want to be trading in. We don't have those extended runs, and that's totally okay. I mean, we always have tomorrow. We're living to trade another day. We didn't take a win, but we didn't take a loss today, and I think that is crucial. Perfect. So let's drop down to the 5-minute. Again, we did trade down into this 5-minute volume imbalance. Before moving higher, kind of had some resistance at that new week opening gap, traded again lower one more time before ultimately going for those weekly highs. Let's drop down to the 1-minute. Perfect. So again, on the 1-minute this morning, we had some consolidation, moved lower, taking out these lows right here before breaking market structure. We came back down into this 1-minute fair value gap. This could have been a nice trade, but since we don't trade on Mondays, I wasn't really looking for a trade. We did trade down into this fair value gap before moving higher, eventually into those weekly highs. Look at how we traded out of those weekly highs. So then we had this kind of displacement run, traded higher before moving lower, and now we're back in that new week opening gap level. So for me today, I'm just watching to see what market action, what price action is doing, what we are doing, what we're thinking for this upcoming week. Essentially, it is rollover, so we are expecting some slower movements just coming into the week, and it is almost the end of the year. Crazy, we're almost in 2024, so we're not expecting much movement. Again, we do have a lot of news this week, so we could potentially see some runs, but we're kind of just gonna play it by ear right now. Right now, I don't have a bias for where I think the market is gonna go. I just kind of want to see more information. Monday, we did have these weekly highs taken out, but then we traded back down, and essentially I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow morning to see if we can, like, if anything's gonna happen, if we're gonna be kind of stuck in this consolidation. But I am gonna be trading tomorrow. We will see. I usually like Tuesdays, so I'm hoping we'll get a setup on Tuesday. If not, that's totally fine. Again, we are in rollover. It is the last month of the year, holiday season, you know, there's not a lot of market movements. So we're just kind of gonna go from there and hopefully make a trade tomorrow if it presents itself. If not, totally fine with sitting out. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you kind of got an understand of what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at these charts, kind of understanding why I decided to sit out today, and essentially how we are going to move forward from this day. And yeah, it is rollover. Don't forget to switch your contracts to the new March 2024 contract. And I wish you all the best and safe trading, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.